Education Service has revealed the lack of commitment on the part of successive governments is the reason why Ghana does not have a committed language policy in the use of the mother tongue for teaching. Speaking at the launch of the Spelling Bee competition on the theme The Relevance of the Mother Tongue in Literacy, Acting Director for Basic Education at the Ghana Education Service, Margaret Okai, said there should be an incorporated design and policy by governments to follow.
Every educational policy and reform since Ghana's independence has emphasized the importance of mother tongue education. Our challenge is that there has not been a connected effort to design and implement a language in education policy that incorporates the dimension of emphasis of mother tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, some parents are of the opinion that children who are taught in the mother tongue at early stages of their education find it difficult to learn the second language. Contrary, several studies have proved otherwise. In fact, studies indicate that a child who has a grasp of the mother tongue stands a better chance of acquiring the second language even faster and better.
Member of Parliament for Klote constituency, Dr. Zanetor Ajima Rawlings, proposed as part of measures to measure local language lessons are not limited to the basic and secondary schools. She's urged universities to include local language courses as electives in their curriculum.
We need to hold on to our languages, and the key is to speak them wherever we are. We're a multilingual society, which means that naturally we're good at languages, but somehow there is a block when it comes to English. So maybe the method with which we're teaching is what is creating this block. And perhaps going back to this policy that says we should really have an emphasis on speaking the mother tongue or the first language as we go through, and maintain some kind of mainstream requirement regarding language as we go forward. And perhaps in some of the courses in the university, this is not my role, but perhaps some of these minor courses that people do as part of their major courses in university should include Ghanaian language as an important option, and rather move some of the others down the ladder so that it encourages more people to learn a language at the high level.
Rawlings there, now country director of the Young Educators Foundation, Eugenia Techumenson, encouraged parents to communicate with their children in the local language at home.
Is about how it's spoken. And so I want to make an appeal to parents. It's parents in particular. The policy is there, GES's policy is there. Let's leave them to figure out how they can implement it. USAID is supporting with the learning program. But as parents, if we're not speaking the language with our own children, we're turning them into what I call monolinguals. All they do is speak a form of English, and that's it. So that even when they actually meet an English person, there's a problem in communication. I have had situations, and it doesn't include Lily, where I have taken children to the US and they've been asked, what's your mother tongue for spelling bee? And we hear English and we all cringe. Because English cannot be your mother tongue, not when you're a Ghanaian.
You do agree with that, Eugenia Techumenson there. What good news she's bringing on board at this point is that the competition is being expanded to the School for the Deaf.
We run the spelling bee in the School for the Blind. We braille everything for them. We are intending this year, should we get the financial support we need, to go into the School for the Deaf. No child should be left out of the love to read.
Well, launching the competition, wife of Vice President Samira Baumia tasked the Ghana Education Service to revise the lesson notes on teaching of phonetics as a way of encouraging teaching and learning.
Learning, together with the Ghana Education Service, has done exceedingly well
in developing a phonics-based program in Ghanaian languages and English, which involves systematic teaching of the building blocks of reading, introducing letter sounds and syllables in a carefully paced sequence so that children can begin reading words independently. I was telling some people yesterday that my son, who is 4 years old, cannot say ABCD, but rather he's being taught the sounds of the letters and he can put words together already. So we have to rethink the way we teach the phonics as well.
Spelling Bee is here and is here to stay.